Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today, we are once again in for a treat as we have a double dip of pro wrestling. This time, two different promotions. As we have WWE Clash at the Castle, which takes place from Cardiff, Wales. Sorry if I butchered that. And AEW All Out, which takes place in Chicago, Illinois. So, grab yourself something to drink, maybe a snack, and let's do this. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to predict Clash at the Castle, which takes place this Saturday at 1 Eastern. I'm not sure about the rest of you time zones. You got to figure that out. Because it takes place overseas. It's in Cardiff, Wales. Which is, I believe, the first time since SummerSlam in the 90s that WWE went overseas. Well, to the UK, at least. So, and for a pay-per-view. This is an exciting time. Cards looks interesting, so let's get into it. So, first match. Also, thank God no, matches on the pre-show. I'm getting tired of that. I kind of like what WWE has right now. You got the main show, it's X amount of time, and it's 3 hours tops, maybe 4 if we're unlucky. So, this is the matches for now. We still have SmackDown later tonight, although that's been taped in advance because they're going to be, I think today's a travel day, so that's going to be interesting. First match, it's a tag team match, playa. And no titles are on the line, but it is a grudge match as Edge teams up with Rey Mysterio, former WWE Tag Team Champions in their own right, as they are seconded by Dominic Mysterio, Rey's son, as they take on the Judgment Day, Edge's former group that he created, as it's Finn Balor and Damian Priest being being managed by Rhea Ripley. And Rhea and Dominic have had not really a relationship, but Rhea Ripley has pretty much dominated Dominic. I kind of feel bad for him, but I also want to take his place because I'm not going to get into that. That's gross. Winners. Oof. Well, this story, Edge wanted to kill his creation, so this match, he came back SummerSlam and he pretty much said, "Oh, I'm going to kill this," which I don't know if you want to do right now because they could be something, I think. God, this is kind of tough to call because I like both squads, but I think for the nice little nostalgia pop, we're going to get Edge, and you know what? Screw it. I'm going to say it. It's been said 100 times already. We're going to get Dominic to interfere against his dad and Edge, which is going to cost them, and the Judgment Day are going to win. He's going to run off with Judgment Day. That's right. I said it. Dominic's going to turn heel. We all know it's probably not going to happen, but I want it to happen already. Drop that pin already, Hunter. Next up, a match, the first I heard about it, the excited I've become. It's a possible match of the year candidate, as you have Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, as he defends his title against a man who has not yet held the Intercontinental Championship, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Boy, this is going to be a match to watch. A couple of big hosses going at it. Love it. However, Gunther, I believe, only got this title like maybe a month ago. Maybe a little over a month ago, but I think he needs a decent reign. Give him, I'd say give him at least until the next pay-per-view. Whatever that is. I'm not even sure what that is. I think that's like Clash of Champions or something. I don't know. But I think Gunther is going to retain. Next up, another very interesting match. Although it is a rematch, but these two work really well together as Matt Riddle, not just Riddle anymore, takes on Seth Rollins. Oof. Boy, I like both these guys. They are both fantastic competitors. Now that, Matt Riddle isn't just Randy Orton's, little brother character. That was interesting for a while, the whole RK Bro tag team. I did like that. But it's been more than time to have Riddle strike out on his own and then maybe build him up as a legit champion. However, I do also really like the way Seth's been handled. Now, I don't love his, Joker laugh. Let's face what that is. But he spat fire on this past Monday in a promo against Riddle. Like, hot dang, he went after Riddle's family. This is personal, and honestly, I can't wait. And, man, I'm not sure. Because Seth has been taking a lot of losses lately. Especially against Cody, now against Riddle. I'm at a loss, honestly. I don't know who to take. So I'm going to take Matt Riddle. Because to me, it just makes sense. Alright, next up, we got the 6-person tag team match player. That's right, WWE getting into the trios action. As Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. Low said she's not defending her title, but, it still could be fun. Alexa Bliss and Asuka take on Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. This match should be an absolute banger. And we did see Kai and Sky lose in the finals of the women's tag team title tournament. I'm surprised those titles aren't being defended, but something tells me that's gonna happen sooner rather than later. So I think Bayley and her crew are going to win. Next up, a match I'm not really wholly invested in, but I do like both competitors. We have the SmackDown Women's title on the line, as Liv Morgan, the SmackDown Women's Champion, defends against Shayna Baszler. Now, Baszler has had a very interesting route in WWE. NXT, she's treated as a killer. First call-up, she's biting Becky Lynch's neck like a vampire, running through the Elimination Chamber, and then losing at WrestleMania. Then she was in a tag team with Nia Jax for a little bit, and since Nia's release, Shayna's kind of been dangling in the void a little, which is sad, because she's very, very good. She then won a number 1 contenders match. I believe it was a gauntlet match, in which she kind of ran through everybody, and this is another tough one to call, because as much as I like Shayna, I really don't want Liv Morgan's title reign to end. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't really like the way Liv is handling herself. She's been doing very finicky things to keep the title, which is very heelish. But I think Liv retains the title here, and then maybe we see Charlotte Flair come back, which I know a lot of people wouldn't like, but I still like Charlotte. And next up, our main event of the evening. And it is for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight title as Roman Reigns defends against Drew McIntyre. Oh boy, I'm going to say this. One, WWE, Broken Dreams. I better be hearing that theme song for him playing this tomorrow. Number two, Cardiff, everyone in Cardiff, I better hear you singing your dang heart out, because that song's a banger. As for this match, it's been over 2 years now that Roman has held the Universal Championship. WWE Championship he just won at WrestleMania this past year. So it's been a little shorter reign with that. Oh, God. Like, again, I'm not sure. We kind of have the home continent for Drew, although he's from Scotland. God, as much as I want Drew to win, and that would be just fantastic, I think Roman retains, and I think his next challenger, not his next challenger, but down the line, it's going to be WrestleMania, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. At least that's my hope. Like, I do hope Drew McIntyre gets the title back, considering his last reign was in the Thunderdome, and we all know how that went, which is very sad. So, yeah, that is Clash at the Castle. Maybe we'll see some matches added tonight. I kind of doubt it, but should be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. Now, next up, we have Sunday the 4th in Chicago, Illinois. We have AEW All Out, which I believe is the 3rd annual. So, this is going to be fun, I believe. So, we got a couple of pre-show matches. Hopefully they go by really pretty quick. Although this first one is going to be interesting. As it's Eddie Bloody Kingston, fresh off of his suspension after getting into it with Sammy Guevara, he was originally supposed to face on this card, taking on Japanese legend Tomohiro Ishii. God dang. Couple of horses going at it once again. And honestly, I think Eddie Kingston's going to get a win back, and then maybe we'll see something happen down the line with him. Like, I think it's time to crown him champion already. Speaking of championships, the first of 10,000, not really 10,000, but AEW does have a lot of titles. We have the All-Atlantic Championship on the line as the champion Pac defends for the first time in AEW. He's pretty much defended it in international promotions around the damn world, which is awesome. Taking on a newly returned Kip Sabian, the bad boy. The super bad boy? I don't know. Anyway, this is a tough match to call because I like Pac. I've liked his reign so far, although most of his defenses have pretty much been shown on Dark, which that's kind of a shame. But like I said, Kip Sabian only just came back, and to have him have a loss is kind of a shame. But I think I'm going to go with Pac, the bastard. And next up, main event for the buy-in, or whatever they're calling it these days. We have the FTW Championship on the line as Hook defends against Angelo Parker of the Jericho Appreciation Society. This is going to be a 2-minute nothing match. Hook is going to get a win, and maybe we'll set up the next challenger. Alright, next up is a little bit sad because it is for the interim World Women's Championship, as Thunder Rosa had to step back due to injuries. Which, get well soon, Thunder Rosa, we miss you. So, we have a fatal 4-way for the interim title championship. As it's Toni Storm, Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, her heavy, and Hikaru Shida, a former women's champion in her own right. And I believe she has I forget the name of the title, but it's a women's title from Japan, so that's pretty cool. Personally, my head says Toni Storm, my heart says Jamie Hayter, because I want to see Jamie Hayter get a push. This is Toni Storm's match to win. Sorry to the other ladies. I believe the plan was, if Thunder Rosa was healthy, to have her lose the title to Toni Storm. So, instead we get this. And, honestly, I'm okay with that. Next up, the first of 3 trios matches. As we have the House of Black taking on, that being Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, taking on Darby Allin, Sting, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, Miro. Considering Miro and Sting and Darby Allin don't really have any history of teaming together, honestly, Miro and Darby had a hell of a feud over the TNT title. So, there's that history. But I think I'm going to go House of Black. I think they need some momentum after losing in the Trios tournament. We'll get to that. And honestly, I just think they need a win. Next up, we have the AEW TBS Championship on the line. It's a secondary women's title, as Jade Cargill takes on Athena. Now, Athena is relatively new. She only debuted at the last pay-per-view, I believe. If you don't remember her, she's the former Ember Moon from WWE. I do not think Athena is the right woman to take this title off of Jade Cargill. Jade has had a really dominant run. Now, would I be mad if Athena won? No. Honestly, I think this spot was meant for Chris Statlander, who's, hurt herself. Get well soon. I think Cargill gets the win here. Next up, bit of a one-on-one grudge match as Jungle Boy takes on his former mentor, Christian Cage. Cage has been talking smack about Jungle Boy's family. His father's Luke Perry, the actor. So Jungle Boy has been wanting to get his hands on him. At one point, Luchasaurus joined up with Christian, but now he's kind of back, I guess. There's 2 scenarios I can see here. One, Jungle Boy just winning clean, which I would be totally okay with. I think this other option is, going to be a little bit more interesting. I think Luchasaurus comes down, costs Jungle Boy, reteams with Christian Cage, leaving Jungle Boy to get a little bit more serious, maybe ditch, the frills of the Jungle Boy character. In which I think there's only so much you can do with the Jungle Boy character. Same kind of thing with Luchasaurus. As much as I like the wrestling dinosaur idea, it can only get you so far. So I think Luchasaurus is going to finally really break it off with Jungle Boy, re-team with Christian Cage, and cost Jungle Boy the match. Because I think that's a little bit more interesting. As much as I hate to see Jungle Boy losing, like, he should easily win. I think Christian's going to win under not so nice means. Next up, second of 3 trios matches, as we have the TNT champion, Wardlow, teaming up with FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood, who hold pretty much all the tag team titles at this point, as they take on Jay Lethal and who we thought was going to be Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. Instead, it's some old friends of Jay Lethal from TNA. That's right, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns, making their AEW debut. Now, don't worry, this is just going to be a loner. They're not sticking around long term. Ooh, this is a kind of a tough one to call, because as much as I like where FTR and Wardlow have been going, their momentum has kind of stalled a little bit, at least with fan interest. Although fans are still into FTR, they're great. But Wardlow has definitely lost a bit of steam since the MJF Double or Nothing thing. I think Wardlow and FTR are going to get the win here. And hopefully we have the rebuild of not just the TNT title, but Wardlow himself. Alright, next up we have the Casino Ladder match, in which there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 participants looking to climb the ladder to success, grab whatever the prize is. I hope it isn't that brass ring again. I hated that. And receive a future AEW World title shot. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Participants: Claudio Castagnoli, the ROH champion; Wheeler Yuta, the ROH Pure champion; Penta El Zero Miedo; Rey Fenix, both Lucha Brothers. That's going to be fun. Roosh, former Ring of Honor World Champion; Andrade El Idolo, Tranquilo; and Dante Martin, along with a Joker, aka a mystery opponent. A lot of people on the internet are saying, oh, this is going to be MJF. It's going to be MJF. MJF is in a very weird place right now. Like, he's... since the pipe bomb, he hasn't even been on TV. Like, do I hope he comes back here? Absolutely. But there's a lot of options on this roster who I think would be maybe a little better. Like, Samoa Joe is coming back, the ROH TV champion. You got Adam Cole, baby. I know he's been hurt for a while, but rumblings are he might be getting a little closer. And there's so many other options. So for the Joker, I'm going to go Adam Cole. And the winner, I'm going to kind of go a little, maybe not newer. I think I'm going to go with Andrade El Idolo. The man needs something. Like, I loved that he, Roosh, and Dragon Lee were in the Trios tournament. But now that Dragon Lee is now out of the company. I mean, he was never really a part of the company, but, you know, it's fine. I feel like Roosh and Andrade are kind of directionless. So I think this would give him a nice direction. Alright, next up, it's a tag team match, playa, for the AEW World Tag Team Championships as Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland take on Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, The Acclaimed. Man, this is kind of tough to call because I love The Acclaimed. Hell, everyone loves The Acclaimed. But Swerve in Our Glory kind of just won these tag titles. You know what? I'm going to say it. New AEW World Tag Team Champions, The Acclaimed. Scissor me, daddy ass. Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit out there. The Acclaimed. Next up, kind of the grudge match coming in, as you have Ricky Starks taking out Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, these two were teamed together for a bit, more than a bit actually, under the Team Taz banner. They did some good things. I do wish they'd won the tag titles at least once. When Ricky Starks lost the FTW title to Hook, that's when Hobbs turned on Ricky. And honestly, this has kind of been the most consistently good story AEW has. Like, no offense to anyone else. This has been a really damn good story. As for the winner, sorry Ricky, I love you, dude, but I think this is Powerhouse Hobbs' time. And then eventually, I'd like to see Hobbs versus Wardlow for the TNT title. Tony Khan, make it happen. Next up, we have the tournament finals for the inaugural AEW Trios Championships. That's right. AEW finally brought in the Trios Tag Team titles. And I'm excited for them. The tournament has been so good. And I'm going to recommend a match. This past week on Dynamite. No, was it on Dynamite? I think it was the week before. No, it was this past week on Dynamite. The main event, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. If that isn't a match of the year candidate, I don't know what is. Like, go give it a watch. Now, we do have one half of the finals, Omega and the Bucks. But tonight, we have the other half that's going to be decided as it's the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta, taking on Dark Order members Alex Reynolds, John Silver. It was meant to be 10, but he got hurt. Then Evil Uno came back. He was in Germany for Gamescom, which, that sounds fun as hell. Then he got attacked by Roosh. So, who steps up to the plate? Their old friend, Hangman Adam Page, former AEW World Champion himself. And honestly, I think that seals up the final. Alex Reynolds and John Silver and the Hanger going to the finals against Kenny and the Bucks. And honestly, little continuation of that story. I loved that story with Omega and Hangman. That was a great old story, and I cannot wait for this. Here's the thing. We've heard Tony Khan himself say, we're not doing the Trios tournament without Kenny. Kenny's going to be our focal point of this. So, I think, and I know it's going to piss off a lot of people out there, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are going to be our first Trios champions. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. Start out strong, and then have them have a few defenses here and there. Then maybe have them lose it to someone else. Who knows? Now, our main event of the evening. And honestly, I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a match. These two have great chemistry together. It's the current champion, Jon Moxley defending the AEW World title in Chicago against CM Punk. Now, 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, the week prior to this week, Jon Moxley was interim champion because CM Punk's foot was hurt. He then came back for a defense, a la what he did at Money in the Bank. I think that was Money in the Bank, where he unified the title against John Cena. If y'all remember that. The Summer of Punk, that sucked. Like, go watch back WWE's Summer of Punk. That shit sucked. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of Punk. Like, as much as I'm glad to see him back, the hype has kind of worn off him from me. Like, do I hate him? No. He's still a great wrestler. But his politicking, I am so sick of. But, however, it is indeed in Chicago, and Punk doesn't lose in Chicago. So your winner and new AEW World Champion, CM Punk. However, post-match, we get a little return. A little Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And honestly, with their history, that's going to be a hell of a story. Alright, I'm glad you guys joined me for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your predictions for both shows, for either show. Let me know what match you're most looking forward to this weekend. And I will try to get a review of these two shows out on Monday. Sunday I'm going to be a little bit busy. Although I shouldn't miss any of All Out. So that should be fine. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I shall see you next time. Peace.